So this morning we're going to honor the downward dog, and I'm going to read a dog poem by Mary Oliver. Here it is, Every Dog's Story. I have a bed, my very own. It's just my size. And sometimes I like to sleep alone with dreams inside my eyes. But sometimes dreams are dark and wild and creepy, and I wake and am afraid, though I don't know why. But I'm no longer sleepy, and too slowly the hours go by. So I climb on the bed where the light of the moon is shining on your face, and I know it will be morning soon. Everybody needs a safe place. So that is our motto for this morning, finding our safe place in our downward dog and beyond. That's it. Okay, and we'll need a block and 2 blocks and a belt, please. Now we're going to stand in Tadasana. We're going to feel our toes beautifully stretched out on the floor or on your mat. And I'm just going to turn the light on so you can see my face. And so we're spreading our toes out. We're feeling the weight of our body moving. We're just rocking from side to side, from front to back, locating ourselves in our safe place, in our body, our beautiful body. And we're just going to shake for a minute our upper arms, and we're going to shake our lower limbs, and we're going to rotate our wrists around. Here we go, rotating the other way. And we're going to push our palms out, straight out. Ooh, that I can really feel the stretch in my arm, all the way up to my underarm doing this. And then we're going to press them the other way. And then we're going to rotate them some more. We're going to make a fist and then spread our fingers out, fist, and flick our fingers out forward. All the time we've got our arms raised at our side. And when we do this, ooh, that's quite demanding. I feel the muscles in my arms stretching. Okay, now shake it out, shake it out. Good. All right, now we're going to do some things with our feet. So we're stretching our toes out and we're rocking up on our tiptoes, and then we're rocking down onto our heels. Oopsie. And we're rocking forward onto our tiptoes, and we're rocking back, lifting up tiptoes and then back, lifting up and then back. Good. All right. Now let's come to our mat and stand at the top. We're just going to hold onto our beautiful strap or belt or towel or whatever you've got. And we're going to rotate our arms behind us and then lift our arms up and come to the front and move our arms behind us and lift up and come to the front. Now, as we're doing this, we're breathing. Excuse me. We're inhaling. Okay, and we're going to just take our strap. We've got our strap up, and we're going to just bend our body to the right. And then we're going to fold over and come down to the ground and lift up the other side. And we're going to reverse that and bend down and come around and come up. Now we're going to do that, exhaling down and inhaling as we come up and our lungs open up. Exhaling down and rotating around and coming up. Good. Alrighty, we're going to do work on developing our beautiful sun salutation with variation. So stay with me. I have my blocks at the front. I seem to be losing my voice. Not quite sure why. Alrighty. So I'm standing at the front of the mat with my toes spread out, and I'm just lifting my arms up and feeling a beautiful morning, another beautiful morning. It's a dog's life, looking up, and then opening my arms up, sweeping down. And I'm just going to rest here with a lot of energy in my legs. I feel the energy moving up the back of my legs, the back of my thighs, into my glutes. And I'm just hanging suspended. Now, you may want to come up onto blocks if that's more comfortable and you have different positions. I have my new cork blocks, which I'm very excited about. And now we're going to come halfway up, inhaling, and then exhaling. And then right leg back, knee to the ground. Inhale and look up. And then left leg back. And we're in a plank. We're just going to find a very strong plank here, pressing into our heels, pressing into our hands, and feeling the opening in our chest. Now I'm opening my arms up a little just to feel the opening in my chest. And we're imagining an approximate diagonal. It's difficult without having someone look at you to see whether or not you are in a completely plank-like state. But all right, now we're going to press back into a downward dog. And now we are going to press forward into our plank. And we're going to press back into a downward dog. And this time we're going to press forward into a plank. And then we're going to lower down in chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, and come up into either a low cobra or an upward dog. Here we go. And then back into our safe place, the downward dog. It's a very active pose. And we're pressing into our hands. We're feeling the spine tingling, elongation as our tailbone moves down, our sit bones move up. We feel our tailbone is heavy while our sit bones are moving up. Okay, and we're just breathing, inhaling 5 breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're lifting up our right leg and bending our knee to our chest, moving it forward between our hands. And we're going to bring our other leg forward into a forward bend, exhaling here. And inhaling all the way up, looking up, and then down. Okay, inhale, look up, exhale, forward fold, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, forward fold, inhale, one leg back on one knee, looking up, arms, hands framing the front foot, back into a plank. And we're going to rest here, going to feel the strength of the pose, feel the dynamism of it. We can imagine we're a dart that's moving forward into the future with some kind of real positive affirmative energy. And now we're going to lower down chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, and up into, I'm doing an upward dog. And then turn our toes under, back into downward dog. And we're going to inhale here for a few breaths. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to do some variations. We're going to lift our left leg up this time. And we're going to drop that foot towards the buttock and just put one hip on top of the other. And so you feel an opening in the chest here. You want to press into both hands and see if you can really breathe deeply into that very open left lung. Now, we're going to just continue that foot drop onto the back, and we're going to move into wild thing here. And we're going to open up into a beautiful wild thing with our weight on the back foot and also on the outer edge of the front foot. And we're inhaling and exhaling here. And now we're going to put our left foot back down, come back. Our foot is up. Our left foot is up. And we're going to lower down into a downward dog again. And we're just going to stay here for a minute. We might actually just come down into a child's pose for a minute because that wild thing is quite demanding. We're going to press our hands into the mat in child's pose and feel the elongation of the spine and the movement of that elongation right through the arms and the fingertips that are pressing into the floor. All right, now we're going to come back up into downward dog, and we're going to do wild thing on the other side because, well, we are wild things, wild dogs with minds of our own. And we're going to lift our right leg up and point the foot, and we're going to drop that foot towards the buttock. We're going to just imagine that our hips are stacked one on top of the other, and that our breath is open and moving into and out of a very, very, very expansive right lung, especially. And now we're going to drop that foot behind us and open up into wild thing. And here we are, imagining all the wildness in us, feeling as though it can escape whatever pressures there are, whatever worries we have. The wild thing in us can escape all of that. Now we're going to rotate back to both hands on the ground, our right leg stretching up. I'm on my tippy toe of my left foot because why not? I'm really feeling the stretch here. And now I'm going to lower the leg, and I'm going to come down into child's pose again for a moment before we begin to do some other work. All right, we're going to walk our hands towards the right, and then we're going to walk our hands towards the left as we just stretch in child's pose here. And our hands are stretching out in front of us as we move on to our hands and knees. Now I'm going to lift my right arm up and move it, threading the needle. I'm going to just stay here for a moment, feel the opening in my beautiful shoulder. And now I'm going to stretch it up and thread the needle up thread the needle. Up, thread the needle. And then I'm going to, let's try the other side, lifting up on the left arm and threading the needle and just resting that left arm down. Our head is on the ground. Our right arm is giving us a little bit of balance. And we're trying to maintain the evenness of our hips. So this is a shoulder opening exercise. And try not to fall asleep. I am a sleepy dog this morning, I have to say. Okay, now we're going to lift up and then thread the needle up, thread the needle up, thread the needle. And the last one, up, thread the needle. Okay, let's move our right leg forward into pigeon so that we can have an opportunity to feel a lovely openness in our chest because we're upright here, and we have our foot pointed on the diagonal, and we're squinching that back foot further back as we open up the front of the hip here, the front hip flexor on our left side. And you can hold yourself up with blocks here. Oops, that's not very good, but you could put blocks here if you needed them. And you can also, I'm going to put my forearms down like a sphinx. And then I'm going to put my head on the ground if I can. But you don't have to do that. You can do whatever you like here. You can stay upright. There's lots to be said for the upright, which opens the chest and allows you to breathe easily. This one provides a little more pressure on your glutes here. And we're inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm going to come up now and just open our chest out to inhale and exhale here. We can actually, if we like, we could bend our back knee and hold on to it with our left arm rather, and come up if we think that's a useful thing to do. And then we can drop that leg and move our pigeon-like front leg back and give it a good stretch out in a downward dog. You can howl at the moon if you like. Sometimes that's a useful thing to do in a morning when burdensome thoughts intervene. I'm taking 5 breaths. We've taken several, so this is 3, 2, and 1. Lifting our left leg up. We're going to bring it forward into pigeon again. And I'm moving my right knee back on the mat to stretch it out a bit. Both my feet are pointed. And I'm feeling my chest opening here, giving it a lot of room to breathe easily. I'm coming down onto my sphinx-like arms. This is an option. Or you can just collapse, because why not? You can cradle your forehead on your hands if you like, or put your forehead on the floor. And this is really an opening in my groin. And both sides are very different. So you might find you don't want to go down on one side or the other. Coming up again. Inhaling and exhaling. And then bringing that leg back into a downward dog. Our safe place. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Is that what it is? I can't remember what the last part is. I'm trying to learn, finally, the Sanskrit names. All right. Okay, we're going to walk forward to the front of our mat. I'm just working on my forward fold here. I have my hands hanging suspended in the crook of my elbows. You can also put your hands, if you can reach, under your feet and use your elbows to help you move forward further down. Or you can hold onto your ankles and once again use your elbows to move further down. All the time inhaling and exhaling. Feeling the energy moving upwards in the back of your legs towards your hips. And we're going to come halfway up with a little back bend, forward fold again, and then all the way up to stand. With our arms up, looking up, back bend, and then arms to our sides. A beautiful Tadasana here. And hopefully we'll scan through our body and see how it feels after we've done some of those beautiful movements. I feel a bit more fluidity in my shoulders. I feel my hips are a little bit more open. And I feel I could go on a good run right now. All right. So let's stand at the front on our mat. And we're going to take, we'll do some twisty things here for a minute. We're going to take our left foot back 3 feet. Our foot is on the diagonal. And this is a kind of classic pyramid pose, hips on the hip creases, hands on the hip creases. And we move forward. Our chest is open here. We're moving forward with a flat back. And our head should be in line. And then we're moving down closer and closer to our front thigh until we just drop our head and our hands to the ground. Now, you may have a block nearby, which is a good thing. So you could put your hands on blocks if that makes you feel cozier, or just fold over the front. And all the time you can hook your thumb, your right thumb, in the hip crease and pull that front hip back so that it's rotating externally. And we're feeling the energy moving down our back leg. We're lifting up both of the arches of both our feet while we're here. And then we're going to move into what's called revolved triangle. And you can put your hand flat on the ground, your left hand rather, beside your right foot or on a block. And now we're going to revolve, feeling the front, that once again, that outward movement, that outward rotation of our front leg, front hip. And then we're going to raise our arm up. So we're really revolving and looking. I'm looking out a window to a beautiful tree. And I have my collection of camels that I started collecting when I was
21 and went to West Africa on my own. I guess I was 20. It was a bit of an adventure. And I am examining the back wall while I am revolving and breathing, inhaling and exhaling, trying to keep my breath even, in spite of the fact I am contorted into a pose even a dog would not find herself in. And now I'm rotating up like a windmill and coming back, putting my arms down by my side, rotating my shoulders back and forward. Now we're going to do the other side. So where our hips are facing forward and our feet are about 3 feet apart. I've got my fingers in my hip creases, and I am tipping forward over the front leg. My back is pretty straight, I think. And I'm moving as far forward as I can until I can drop down here. Once again, you can use your blocks here. My left side is not as supple as my right, and I feel I have a lot more work to do on this side. I'm just suspending myself over my leg all the time, feeling the outward rotation. I'm putting my left thumb in my hip crease and rotating manually my hip out, keeping both legs straight. And I'm putting a lot of energy in lifting up the arches of my feet and lifting up my toes and feeling really the energy of this pose as we just use some yin time to allow our bodies to open in this position. Now I'm going to use a block because I can, and I'm putting my right hand flat on the block right beside my left foot, and I am opening my upper arm to the back. And now I'm just looking at the frame of a mirror and thinking about what it means to examine yourself in the middle of an awkward pose. And thinking once again, a dog would never find herself in this ridiculous position, but we do because it makes us feel good. And now we're going to rotate up and around and bring our feet forward and stand into Tadasana again. Thinking, oh, here I am again, a dog. I'm just shaking my whole body out as though I've just been sprayed with the hose. There we go. All right. So let's continue on, if you will bear with me, in life as a yoga dog. And we're going to just widen your legs into a wide stance. Turn your front leg to the front of the mat. Tip your back leg on the diagonal and bend, 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 bend. Feel the upper part of your body moving up. Your hands are moving out in both directions. And we are just moving into warrior two, keeping our back leg straight, pushing into the outer back edge of the foot, lifting both of our arches up. I'm lifting my toes up, and I'm looking towards the front hand. That's my drishti, my focal point, my meditative space. And then I'm going to move my upper arm back into, I think this is called gentle warrior. And then I'm going to move forward
And I'm extending my arm out and dropping it down and looking up at that arm as we are here in a side angle pose. Very energetic, diagonal from the tip of my left hand to the outer edge of my left foot. Feeling both sides of my body extending, my torso extending, the space between the hip and the lower ribs on both sides. We're rotating up. And now I'm going to come back into warrior pose and come over, arching my upper arm back, dropping my back arm along my shin and looking up. And once again, feeling myself going down, 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 as well as back, 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 and coming up into warrior pose, back into my extended side angle, which is, once again, a dog would not find herself in this pose, but we do. Inhaling and exhaling. And then pressing up again and bringing my feet happily to straight. My hands are in my hip creases. I am moving my feet out a little bit and tipping over the front of my body with my back straight. Putting my feet on my hands on the ground. Here you can use blocks if you like, so that it's not such a demanding journey. And, or you can just put your hands down and stretch them out in front of you. And I'm inhaling and exhaling here. And walking my hands over to the right, holding onto my ankle and asking myself, how much do I want to move my torso towards my leg? And now I'm going to sweep back towards my left leg and holding onto my ankle. It's much more treacherous on this side. It's a dog's life, what can I say? We're not symmetrical and we're certainly not perfect. So this is a time of forgiveness and self-care. So don't go any further than your body will allow you to be. You're your own best teacher. And now I'm stretching forward. I'm bringing my hands between my feet, bending my elbows, and imagining that in another life, I once could do a tripod headstand from here and just put my head down and lift my legs up. You can actually use a block here. So you can put your head on a block and feel that sixth chakra, the crown chakra here. You can put a little bit of weight on it and massage it a little bit if you like. As you just maintain this posture, once again, feeling your legs straight or bent, whatever is comfortable. And I'm really pressing into my feet. I'm lifting my toes up and my arches here and really feeling the energy moving up the backs of my legs. Okay, now we're going to come up. I'm going to wiggle my feet in a little bit, put my hands on my hips, and come up with a straight back. Okay, good. Well, now all we have to do is turn towards the other side. And I'm turning my outer foot, my my left foot out, my right foot is in, and I'm moving into a warrior pose here. Stretching that leg out and putting my hand down on my thigh and stretching, my other arm up, looking up, rotating my chest towards the sky. The sun is in the sky. It's a really beautiful summer day. And now I am going to move back into warrior pose and then drop my hand down the back with this lovely peaceful warrior position, or gentle warrior as it's sometimes called. And then I'm going to once again move forward into an extended side angle. And now I'm going to just lift up and squiggle my feet in because, well, this old dog is fatigued. I'm shaking it out. I've just been sprayed by a hose. I'm in the garden. I'm shaking everything out. Okay. Now, I have absolutely no idea what time it is, so alrighty. So let's move down to the front of our body. However you can make it to the ground. And let's tuck your shirt in and move onto your tummy. I have my head on my forehead on the ground, and I'm using my hands and I'm pressing my fingers into the ground. My elbows are bent, and I'm going to lift up with my fingers in the ground into a lovely back bend in the top of my body. And now I'm going to lower down, and I'm going to lift up again, and then I'm going to lower down and lift up again and lower down. All right, now I'm going to flatten both my palms on the ground, and I'm going to lift my right leg up, and in the kind of wild thing movement, I'm going to touch my toe behind me, my right toe behind me, and feel the stretch in my left shoulder as I just stay here for a moment. Lift that leg up, bring it back so you're on your tummy, and then once again, lift your left leg up, bend that knee, drop it behind you onto the floor, and feel the opening in that shoulder. And then come onto your belly again. Okay, we're going to do a few locust movements here. So I have my hands at the side of my torso, palms up, and I'm going to just lift my shoulders up, and then my head up, and then my hands up, and then finally my legs. I'm pointing my legs. I'm really feeling the opening in the back. I'm feeling my shoulder blades touch each other, move towards each other as my chest opens up and lifts up. And I'm inhaling and exhaling here. And now I'm going to come down. And I am just going to, because my feet cramp a little bit, I'm just pressing my toes into the mat and giving my feet a little bit of a dorsiflexion, flexing my feet. All right. And now I'm going to once again lift my shoulders, my head, my chest, and my feet and my arms. And once again, just feel the energy coursing through your body. Imagine it's lighting up your body for the rest of the day. And now we're going to come down again. And I'm going to once again invite us to go back into child's pose for a moment. Feet, toes together, feet apart, arms stretched out. Foot, you can drop your forehead to the floor. You can have your forehead on a block if you like. And we'll just walk to the right again and then walk to the left with our arms, just giving us another little stretch here. And I'm going to invite us to sit back onto our feet if we can. And we're just in a position of just a kind of rest at this point. I'm just going to invite us to open our arms up above our heads and feel that our arms are lifting up, and then we're drawing our shoulders down. We're lifting our hands up, and then we're drawing our shoulders down. Lifting our hands up and drawing our shoulders down. Good. And now we're going to scoot onto our behind into Dandasana, feet in front, and we can use our straps here to help us here. We can put a strap around the arches of our feet, and we can also sit on something, a block or a blanket, to lift our hips up. But I'm just going to tip forward here in Dandasana with a straight back for as long as I can manage it, which isn't really too far. And then I'm going to fold over. And I'm holding onto my feet, but you could hold onto your strap. So the object here is not necessarily to have a straight back at all, unless you're BKS Iyengar or someone. And then, but you can use your feet, holding onto your feet, the outside of your feet, to help you, and your elbows to help you move forward and down. So we're imagining that our nose is moving down the front of our legs towards our feet. And now we can come back up with a straight back. We can just sit here and put our hands on the ground beside us, pressing into the ground, pressing into our feet, feeling the liberation of this, feeling our breath return easily. Now we're going to put our right foot in a tree pose, and I'm going to really turn my body towards my left leg as I move forward and down. Once again, you can use your strap if you like, holding onto your strap or your foot or whatever you can manage here. And I'm feeling like a happy dog. I'm nearing the end of this practice, and I can feel some of the goodness of the practice in my body. I'm going to come up again and work on the other side, pressing my right foot out, my tree pose, leg, turning my body towards my right leg and moving down, holding onto a strap or my foot. And I'm coming up now. All right. Let's try boat pose because it's so good for us and such a good challenge. All right. So I'm just in Dandasana. Now I'm tipping back a little bit. I'm bending my feet, putting my feet on the ground, and I'm tipping back on the diagonal slightly. And I'm going to just lift one leg up, pointing my toes, and lift the other leg up. And now I'm going to lift both legs up. And I'm just going to leave them here for today and put my arms straight out, palms facing each other. And if you like, you can play with raising your legs up here as you maintain some stability in this boat pose. If you want to, you can raise both legs up and keep your back straight, your arms straight, your legs straight, and count to 400 or or 3. Anyway, I've never seen a dog do this either. Alrighty, and now we can come down and fold over and embrace ourselves. A little self-love here. Life can be hard and demanding and cruel and sad and difficult, but it can also be filled with pleasure and joy and companionship and care and tenderness. Or the nourishment of solitude can happen for us. And we're just embracing our legs, rounding our back, breathing into our back, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. So let's do one more quick boat pose because, well, we must. Here we go. And we're just here. And now I'm a terrible thrifter, and I have all of these beautiful vases in a window that I have lots of memories of. And I have my grandmother's vase. I have a tanka that I bought at Child Haven, which supports orphanages in India and Bangladesh and Tibet and all around that area. Lots of memories and things. It's good to attach to the memories of things rather than the things themselves. And now I'm going to come down because, well, that was horrible. Not horrible, but demanding. All right. And now I'm going to just roll back with my feet are on the floor. I'm rolling back tenderly, feeling the ground, feeling my body, stretching it out. First the right side, and then the left side, and then the right side, and then the left side. And now we're going to come back for bridge because, well, bridge is that wonderful pose near the end of our practice that brings it all together. So I'm pressing, I have my legs bent, my knees bent, I'm pressing into my feet. I have my hands beside my torso, I'm holding onto my mat, or I'm preparing to lift my torso up and draw my shoulders underneath me, clasp my hands underneath, and feel once again, your knees are moving towards the front wall, your pelvis, your chest, they're moving straight up, and we're pressing into our arms on the ground and into our feet. Once again, I'm lifting my toes up and the arches of my feet to really press into my toe pads and my heels. Now I'm lowering them and I'm extending my arms out and lowering my body. We'll do that one more time with a couple of variations. You don't have to do everything. You can just rest if you like. So once again, I'm tilting my tailbone up and I'm moving my torso up, clasping my hands, and I'm bending one knee into my body and stretching my right foot straight up. And I'm rotating my ankles because I can. And then I'm bending that knee back, placing it on the ground, lifting up again, lifting the left knee up, straightening that leg, rotating my feet, my foot, my one foot, pressing into the other one, bending my knee, bringing it down, and then exhaling. Oh, a big sigh on the ground. We'll windshield our knees from one side to the other. And we're going to put our feet flat on the ground again. I have my arms straight out at the sides. I'm lifting my hips up and moving them towards the right, dropping my knees towards the left. This might be enough for you, but because I am always wanting a little bit more, I lift my top leg up and tuck my shin underneath my lower knee to give myself a little bit more of a twist. And then I can also just gently put my hand on the knee, give it a little bit of added weight. And I'm looking towards the right. Our breath should be coming more easily, more evenly now at the end of our practice. And I'm rolling back to the center, centering my hips and my feet. Then I'm lifting my hips up, turning and dropping them a little bit closer to the left as my knees might move towards the right. Once again, you can leave them there, or you can hook your upper shin underneath your lower knee and turn and look at the opposite arm. So this is a lovely twist. Three, two, 1.5, 1.25, 1. And now we'll rotate our knees back to the center our spine, feel that it's really, we can rock our knees back and forth a little bit. We can bring them into our chest. And if we like, we can thread our hands on the inside of our knee and hold onto the outside of our feet and just put our feet facing the ceiling and as our knees move towards our armpits, and we can feel this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opening in our body. Our breath should be coming more easily. We should be happy, happy dogs. Happy dog people. All right. Now we can imagine ourselves stretching out like a dog in the sunshine. Our legs are straightening. Our hands are straightening. Our arms are straightening. And we're stretching here, just stretching our whole body. Now I am going to go into Shavasana. You may have another idea. You can put your feet up, the legs up the wall if you like. You can go into a fetal position, You can move onto your tummy. You can sit up cross-legged if you like. So your relaxation is yours to invite. As I'm here in Shavasana, I am imagining I have fur all over my body, and that fur is being ruffled by the wind. It's kind of ticklish. And I'm imagining that I have the ability to sleep like a dog anywhere. So Shavasana is a very deep relaxation. And I can feel the breath of the wind inflating my lungs. And then I'm exhaling. I can feel my toes relax and my feet, my shins and my calves, my knees, my thighs, my groin, my pelvis, my hip bones, my belly, my waist. I can feel my ribs relax, my underarms, my shoulders, my upper arms, my elbows, lower arms, my wrists, my hands, my fingers, my palms, my face, my forehead, and I'm just fully, deeply sinking into the mat. I'm going to be silent for a few moments and let you experience your own Shavasana, but I will be back. And I'm going to invite you to either stay where you are for the entire day or for 10 more minutes or an hour, or you can feel the tingle of your toes and your fingers. You can feel every bit of your body coming alive. From the cleft of your chin to your clitoris and beyond. And I'm going to read a poem about Percy from Mary Oliver's Dog Songs. And she says, this is a poem about Percy. This is a poem about more than Percy. Think about it. And this is the poem. The sweetness of dogs. What do you say, Percy? I am thinking of sitting out on the sand to watch the moon rise. It's full tonight. So we go, and the moon rises. So beautiful, it makes me shudder, makes me think about time and space, makes me take measure of myself, one iota pondering heaven. Thus we sit, myself, thinking how grateful I am for the moon's perfect beauty, and also, oh, how rich it is to love the world. Percy, meanwhile, leans against me and gazes up into my face as though I were just as wonderful as the perfect moon. So I'm thinking about Percy at my side, gazing up at me, thinking I am as wonderful as the perfect moon. And that is how I'm going to begin my day. Thank you for spending time with me, sending you lots of good wishes and love.